Hey mates, something got my guineas all riled up. They're squawking like crazy. Something in the woods. We're gonna have to go find out and see what it is. Because these guineas are going a little crazy back here. They're done plumb loco. Now I'm walking back this trail back here in the woods. Gotta watch out for black bear, bobcats, crazy raccoons, rattlesnakes, and them copperheads. Let's go down this trail and see what's scaring my guineas. Hang tight. Oh, oh, y'all see that back there? Let's creep up on this. Let's creep up on this wild creature. Holy smokes. Danger, danger, danger. Let's see. There she is. Look at that wild beast back here. Well, not really a wild beast, everybody. Hey, this is Eddie with Dak Moto. Appreciate you coming to my channel. Hope you liked the little intro there. Thought I'd try to change it up a little bit. But somebody left me a KTM out here in the middle of the woods. I guess that's what was scaring my guineas there. Never know sometimes what they're squawking about, what they're getting a little loose about here. But heck, let's see. Did they even... Look at that. Even left us a key in it. Well, golly, some of the treasures you find up here in the Georgia mountains. Hey, again, this is Eddie with Dak Moto. Appreciate you coming to my channel. Today's video is about a backup plan or an exit strategy. What are you going to do when you're traveling, especially if you're traveling by yourself? Not bad to travel with friends, but then a lot of times you got to, deal waiting on them, or they got to take more pee breaks, whatever the situation is. Sometimes you got to wait on them. So what do you do? So you're not going to always want to go with a bunch of people. You're going to want to sometimes go and venture out on your own. But do you have an exit plan? Do you have a backup strategy here in case something goes wrong with your bike? And that's what today's video is about. All right, so before we get started, if you would, please subscribe, hit that bell for the next video notification, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And leave me any comments, and let me know if there's something you'd like me to go over, or talk about, or research, or review. Anyway, so today is, do you have a backup plan? Do you have an exit strategy? What I mean by that is, you're out there traveling, and especially if you're traveling by yourself. I just got back from South Dakota a few weeks ago, and those guineas are still squawking about this wild animal out here. So as I traveled out that way, there were parts of the country out there that I didn't even see a home for 40, 50 miles. Nothing but corn everywhere. We grow enough corn to feed the world, that's for sure. But, what are you going to do if something goes bad? What are you going to do if your chain breaks, or your belt, on your belt-driven drive, if that belt breaks? What are you going to do if your starter goes out and it fails? Or your stator? What are you going to do if your stator quits charging your battery? Or if your radiator or a hose? What are you going to do if those start leaking? Some of these hoses are pre-curved, and probably with this you can get away and go get a hose from a Napa or a AutoZone or something like that. But some other bikes have really curved hoses, and you can't really put a hose without it getting kinked and causing you overheating problems. So what are you going to do if you have these problems? Your clutch goes out, anything in that sense. Or you have an accident, but the bike's not total, but you crash and you crack a case cover. What are you going to do? What's your options? So, you always got to have a plan and a strategy here to make sure that you can make it back home to your friends and your family, and back to your job, so you don't lose your job because of a bad situation. But anyways, you can do. There's a lot of motorcycle breakdowns out there that you can use. You can use AAA, AMA, American Motorcycle Association. You can go through them. Harley Davidson has their own. Honda has their own, and probably some of the other manufacturers out there. Possibly, I didn't look into them all, but Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Ducati. I don't know. Maybe they all have some kind of program that if you break down, they have a breakdown assistance program. And of course, it's going to cost you. Some may be as cheap as $30 a year, and some may cost you $200 a year. It just all depends on the benefits. But most of these things that they offer for breakdown, they'll come out just like for your car. They'll come out, fix you a flat tire. Obviously, if it's a tube type tire, they'll have a little bit of problems. You may want to tell them to bring a tube. Hopefully, you carry a spare tube. Dead battery, they may come out and give you a jump. Fluids. If you're low on coolant and you're overheating because you're low on coolant, but you can tape up that hose and make it to that next destination or that next city, they'll come out here and they'll come out there and do that for you. Or they'll tow your vehicle. And the downside of that is some of these only tow you a certain distance. Some may only tow you 30 miles or 50 miles or 100 miles. The best one I have found so far is AAA, but that's if you have the AAA Premier account. And they'll tow you one time up to 200 miles, and then they'll tow you 4 more times up to 100 miles. So 200 miles can probably get you to a city, at least somewhere, where you can bed down for the night and possibly try to fix your bike. But, what are you going to do if you need a part that you can't easily get? You call a dealer, and maybe you're near a small city or even a big city. Let's say you call the dealer and you need a radiator, or you need a stator, or you need a starter. They don't carry those kind of parts with them. They don't keep those kind of parts in inventory. It's just not feasible to them. So what's your next option? You sit there and wait until a part comes in for a few days, especially if it's the weekend. Now you got to wait the extra days, or if it's a holiday weekend, now you got 3 days to wait. And then, what if that part doesn't come in for a week or two? You're gonna stay in a motel for that long? That's a lot of money. It's a lot of expense. So you got to have this backup plan. So if you get in a situation where you can't obviously get the part you need for your motorcycle, or something happens, you crack a case, and you can't ride it no more because you're just leaking oil, or the radiator gets busted. This one here is real open to the front tire, throwing up debris and rocks from the road. So if I got a hole in this one, I'm gonna be stuck like Chuck out there. I mean, I may be able to ride it for a few minutes and then have to shut it down so I don't destroy the engine. So you got to always have another plan intact. So let's say you get towed, and you get towed to your campsite or your motel or whatever, and then you call around and no dealer has a part. Or better yet, this is a KTM. What if you're riding a KTM, a Ducati, a Aprilia, a BMW, a Moto Guzzi? Many of these bikes don't have that big of a dealer base in this country here. Now, if it's a Harley Davidson or even some of the Japanese bikes, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda, you probably be able to find a dealer, and they may have the part. And if you're in a bigger city, there may be 2 or 3 of those dealers of that brand in that city, and somebody may have the part you need. But what if? Here's the what ifs of this situation. What if you have a bike that they don't carry those parts? They don't have that availability to get it in a timely manner, so you're not sitting there spending $100 a day in a motel, or even at a campsite. Some campsites charge you $30 a day, $40 a day. So 5 days, it's $200. 5 days in a motel, that's $600-700. It's going to be expensive repair. Your next alternative is find yourself a U-Haul or a Penske or a Ryder truck rental location. And a lot of times, if you're going to get your bike towed and you know you can't be able to fix it, you're not going to be able to fix it, or you're pretty sure the dealer's not going to have the part, I would just go ahead and tell that tow truck driver, take me and my bike to the nearest U-Haul dealer or Ryder somewhere and rent you a pickup truck or a box truck, or whatever the case may be. Now, obviously, depending on how far you are from home, it depends on how much it can cost you, but it may still only cost you somewhere between $300 and $600 to rent a truck, get yourself home, get you and your motorcycle home, and then where you can repair it yourself or take it to the dealer you go to, instead of waiting somewhere and spending $300 to $600 in a motel, plus paying a dealer, plus paying for the parts and anything else. So you always got to have a backup plan. We all can't carry all numerous amounts of parts with us, and spare parts, but you always have some kind of a backup plan. So maybe check your insurance company, Geico, Progressive. I think they offer some type of towing service. But like I said, a lot of these are limited. They'll only tow you up to 30 miles, 40, 50 miles. AAA to me is one of the better ones out there. You get the Premier, they'll tow you up to 200 miles. I've used it before. I was all the way up in Deals Gap. I think Deals Gap from here is about 125 miles, maybe less, maybe about 90 miles. And actually I had to have a friend's bike towed down back to the motel up in Blue Ridge. So you always want to have some kind of a plan, have some kind of insurance with you, have some kind of towing insurance, so you can get to a place, to rent a truck or a pickup truck and get yourself back home. So that's today's video, is have that backup plan, have that exit strategy to get yourself out away from that place you may be stuck in, whatever, if you're out 2 or 3 states away from home, or somewhere where where it's going to take you a long time to try to get home, and you don't want to spend that extra money, or you may not even have that extra money. So just always have that plan in place. So that's today's video. I appreciate you coming out here. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, that bell, ring that bell, whatever. Get that bell notification for the next video, and leave a comment. Maybe any suggestions you may have for an exit strategy or a backup plan if you're stuck out somewhere. But I appreciate it. Thank you much. This is Eddie with DAC Moto, 2 wheels.